Welcome to DEMOCREPUBLIX. We cover the real news that matter to we the people. Trump pounces on Biden-Ukraine scandal as whistleblower story flips on Dems. Zero Hedge reports that President Trump and his social media team have seized on allegations that former Joe Biden abused his position as vice president to strong-arm Ukraine into firing its top prosecutor, who is leading a wide-ranging investigation into Biden's son Hunter and the natural gas firm that paid him $50,000 per month despite his total lack of experience. Imagine getting paid $50,000 a month for something you don't even know anything about. Only the elitists and deep state get deals, sweetheart deals like that. But the article continues on to say that while the Biden-Ukraine story has been simmering for the better part of 5 years under the firm MSM lid, the scandal has been thrust into the spotlight after in which a partisan G-man reported that Trump made promises to a foreign leader that were inappropriate. Now, we come to find out that the conversation was with Ukraine's new president, Vladimir Zelensky, about reopening the Biden investigation, and that it did not contain a quid quo pro. And while Democrat hopes of finally nailing Trump appear to be melting into their sea of Russiagate tears, Trump now is capitalizing on the turnabout bigly. Quote, the fake news media and their partner, the Democrat Party, want to stay as far away as possible from the Joe Biden demand that the Ukrainian government fire a prosecutor who was investigating his son, or they won't get a very large amount of U.S. money. So they fabricated a story about me, and in perfectly fine and routine conversation I had with the new president of Ukraine. Trump said this in his opening salvo over Twitter Saturday morning. Quote, nothing was said that was in any way wrong, but Biden's demand, on the other hand, was a complete and total disaster. The fake news media knows this, but doesn't want to report. I'm starting to think now that this whole thing might have been a setup to bring about the mainstream media have to talk about this Joe Biden thing. Because like the article said, they've been ignoring this thing for 5 years. I mean, I remember first hearing about this this threat, and Biden straight up, they got him on video telling the story about him threatening to take $1 billion from Ukraine if they don't fire this prosecutor. They got him on video bragging about it. I mean, that's just dumb on Biden's part. And I'm thinking maybe they might have threw this fake news story out to the mainstream media news because they know they was gonna pounce on it, and just to get the story out there. And then I think they're gonna release the transcripts of the conversation that Trump had with the president of Ukraine. And I mean, it's totally legal for the president of the United States to talk to another president about anything. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing illegal about that. But I think this might have been, they might have trolled the mainstream media to force them to have to talk about the whole Joe Biden situation that they've been ignoring for years. But the article goes on to say that Trump then posted a montage beginning with Biden claiming not one single credible outlet has given any credibility to his Trump assertion. Trump's 2020 campaign account chimed in, providing clips of the MSM investigating the Biden claims, along with the report that former Secretary of State John Kerry's son cut ties with Hunter Biden over Ukraine. So even other Democrats was cutting ties with Hunter because they know this whole thing was dirty from the get-go. On Friday, Trump downplayed the whistleblower story, telling reporters at the White House, I'll tell you this, somebody ought to look into Joe Biden's statement where he talked about billions of dollars that he's not giving to a certain country unless a certain prosecutor is taking off the case. So somebody ought to look into that, and you wouldn't because he's a Democrat, which I agree with that statement. And the fake news doesn't look into things like that. It's a disgrace, warning the press. He warned the press, you've had a very bad week, and this will be better than all of them. This is another one. So keep playing it out because you're gonna look really bad when it falls. And I guess I'm about 22 and 0, and I'll keep it that way. Is Trump talking trash to the mainstream media. But this is why I believe the whole thing was a setup. He trolled the media because he knew they weren't going to talk about Joe Biden threats to Ukraine. So and he's bragging right here about it. I think this whole thing was Trump and his administration trolling the mainstream media and the Democrats, and they fell for it hook, line, and sinker. But the article continues on. On Friday, Biden issued a statement calling on Trump to release transcripts of his July phone call with Zelensky. Quote, if these reports are true, then it means that he used the power and resources of the United States to pressure a sovereign nation, a partner that is still under direct assault from Russia, pushing Ukraine to subvert the rule of law in the express hope of extracting political favor. He said, apparently unaware of the irony that he openly bragged about doing the exact same thing years earlier. I mean, the hypocrisy is they don't see it. They don't see the hypocrisy. They're blind by their own hypocrisy. It's very, very interesting and ridiculous at the same time. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out DEMOCREPUBLIX.com for the latest in news. Until next time. We live in a really nightmare. We live in a really nightmare.